AITA for treating my wife like a roommate when she stopped seeing me as her husband? My name is Derek. I am 33 years old. I have been married to Megan for 5 years. We bought a house in a suburban neighborhood in Highlands Ranch 3 years ago. 2-car garage, finished basement, the whole suburban dream package. Except at some point that dream started to feel like those jobs where you show up, do the bare minimum, and count the hours until you can leave. It was not one big problem. It was 1,000 little things piling up. It all started 6 months ago when Megan began spending all her Tuesday and Thursday nights at her cousin Paige's house. Girls' nights, she called them. Paige is the kind of person who discovered feminism at 28 and decided to make it everyone's problem. Every conversation revolves around the patriarchy, emotional labor, or the fact that marriage is a social construct designed to oppress women. Very fun at parties. At first I did not pay attention to it. Megan needed to see her friends. Okay. Then she started coming back from those nights with new opinions, sudden stances about how she carried the entire mental load of our household, that I did not appreciate her enough, that she had lost herself in our marriage. Except here's the thing. I work 50 hours a week in supply chain management. I make a good living. I also take care of the yard, car maintenance, and managing our investments. I do most of the cooking because I am good at it, and I am the one who remembers to schedule the furnace maintenance and gutter cleaning. Megan works 40 hours a week as a project manager at a healthcare company, and her contribution to the household mostly consists of complaining about what I am not doing correctly. But sure, the mental load. 3 months ago, the situation regarding our closeness changed. She started going to bed earlier, always too tired. Then it was headaches. Then it became we need to reconnect emotionally first. Then I need to feel desired as a person, not just physically. And finally, I am just not feeling it right now. Our physical intimacy faded completely. I stopped taking the initiative after the 4th rejection in a row. A man can only take a certain number of blows to his morale before he stops volunteering as a target. What destroyed me was not just the rejection. It was the way she rejected me. No warmth, no apologies, just an annoyed sigh as if I were asking her to help me move a couch up 3 flights of stairs. As if my desire for closeness with my own wife was an annoying burden she had to deal with. 2 months ago, I noticed she had stopped wearing her wedding ring. When I asked her why, she told me it was getting cleaned. That was 8 weeks ago. The ring is still in her jewelry box. I checked. She also stopped asking me how my day went, stopped laughing at my jokes, started talking to me with that flat voice people use when they pretend to care. Last month, I suggested we go on a trip for our anniversary, maybe to Hawaii, somewhere we could reconnect. She replied that we should save the money to renovate the bathroom she wanted. The bathroom that apparently requires $18,000 in tile and fixtures. But anyway, then came the little signs of disrespect that in reality were not so little. She would make plans without telling me, then get mad when I had my own. She rolled her eyes when I spoke. She started spending all her time on her phone while I was talking, then asking me to repeat myself as if I were the one being rude. The phone thing got worse. She would send texts while smiling. When I asked who she was talking to, she would reply, just Paige, or just work, in a defensive tone. 2 weeks ago, we hosted a backyard barbecue. I spent the whole morning prepping, smoking ribs, making homemade sides. Her cousin Paige was there, obviously. I heard them in the kitchen while I was bringing in some ice. Paige was talking about her ex who expected her to fulfill wifely duties like in the 1950s. Megan really laughed, and said she totally understood that marriage changes how men see you, that they stop making an effort once they think they have you locked down, that the ring is actually a trap that makes them lazy. I was in the next room seasoning a brisket. I had gotten up at 5 in the morning to prepare it. That is when I knew things were going to get worse, and I was right, because the moment I realized it was over happened 5 days ago. I was looking at SUVs online. Our sedan is fine, but I was thinking of something bigger. Maybe start a family in a year or 2, we need more space. I told Megan I had test-driven a Toyota 4Runner, that it drove great, had very good safety ratings, a good family car. She looked up from her phone with an expression like I had just suggested we move to Antarctica. We need to talk about something, she said. I closed my laptop, and there it was. She took a deep breath, then started a speech she had clearly rehearsed with Paige. She talked about how she had been doing a lot of self-reflection recently, that she realized she had lost touch with who she was before our marriage, that she had been playing this role of a wife without asking herself if it was really what she wanted. I sat there thinking, here we go, Paige's slogans are starting. Then the hammer fell. I no longer see you as a husband, she said as if she were commenting on the weather. I think we have evolved into a roommate relationship. We coexist, but there is no real partnership anymore, no intimacy. We are just two people sharing a space. I let an interesting moment pass. I replied calmly. You realize you are the one who stopped everything. The closeness, the conversations, the connection. I tried. You have been spending 2 nights a week at Pages for the last 6 months learning how oppressed you are. She immediately got defensive. This is exactly what I am talking about. You are dismissive. You do not take my feelings seriously. You cannot even listen to me express my needs without making it all about you. I noticed she did not deny anything I said. She only attacked the way I said it. Expressing her needs. You no longer wear your wedding ring. You barely speak to me. You have not shown any affection in 3 months. But somehow the problem is me because I noticed it. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath. As if to center herself, Paige had surely taught her that too. I do not want a separation, she said. I just need us to redefine our relationship, take the pressure off. We can still live together, still be partners in managing the house, but without all the expectations of a traditional marriage. We can be authentic with each other instead of forcing something that is not working. I stared at her. So you want to be roommates officially? She did not like that phrasing. That is not it. I am just being honest about where I am emotionally. I need space to figure out what I want. You should be grateful I am being transparent instead of pursuing connections outside our marriage. Grateful? She actually said that. Do you want to see other people? I asked. She hesitated, and that told me everything. Finally, she replied, that is not what this is about. But if something develops naturally, I do not want to feel guilty exploring it. I had my answer. All right. So you want me to keep paying the mortgage, maintaining the house, doing everything a husband does while you find yourself and see other people? Perfect. Very fair. You are oversimplifying things, and I never talked about dating. You said if something develops naturally. That is called seeing someone. You are just sugarcoating your words so it sounds less bad. She then tried a more empathetic approach, saying she knew it was hard to hear, but she was trying to be honest to respect her truth, not to live a lie. I thanked her for her honesty and told her I needed to digest all of this. She looked relieved as if she expected a fight and was glad to see me so calm and mature like the good husband I was supposed to be. She went to take a bath with her candles and her face mask. Meanwhile, I was sitting there realizing my wife had just demoted me to roommate status and expected me to accept it with no problem. She was completely wrong because I had already figured everything out and I started planning. If she wants roommates, then let us treat her as such. And that is exactly what I did. But first I had a call to make. The next morning I called a divorce lawyer. Not to start the process right away, just to consult. I wanted to know what to expect. Colorado is a no-fault state, so it was pretty straightforward. We got married before my big promotion, so the income difference was going to matter. The house was bought during the marriage with joint funds, so it would be split. The lawyer asked if I wanted to try to save the marriage. I told him the patient was dead. I just had not called the coroner yet. He laughed and told me to document everything, finances, her behavior, communications. Keep it factual, start separating my money, get everything in order. Then when I was ready, we would file the petition. He advised me to document for a few weeks and then move forward. I booked a follow-up appointment 2 weeks later. Then I went to the bank. I opened a new checking account in my name only. I set my paycheck to be deposited there starting with the next pay period. I would continue funding our joint account for bills, but only up to my exact share. No more putting in extra money. On my lawyer's advice, I also switched all automatic payments to manual. Mortgage bills, everything. From now on, I would transfer exactly 50% into the joint account each month. It was up to her to do the same or deal with late fees, a clean financial split. Then I did this. I canceled our anniversary reservation at a popular farm-to-table restaurant downtown. We were supposed to go on Saturday. I had booked it 2 months in advance. I wanted it to be special. Yeah, over. I called them. I got a full refund since it was more than 48 hours away. I called our insurance company and changed the policy. She could get her own car insurance. That was going to save me about $1,200 a year. Then I did the petty little things. Why not? I removed her from my Costco membership. I changed all my streaming passwords. I removed her from my music streaming family plan. Little things, but 1,000 cuts are still lethal. Wednesday evening, I went to the gym after work instead of going straight home. I used to rush home because having dinner together felt important. Not anymore. I worked out for 90 minutes. I grabbed Chipotle and got home around 8 in the evening. She was on the couch watching reality TV. She asked me what I wanted to do for dinner. I told her I had already eaten. She looked confused but did not push it. She simply went back to her phone. No more affectionate gestures. I used to kiss her on the forehead every night before sleeping. Not anymore. I went into the guest room telling her I was tired and needed to spread out. She said okay with that same flat voice. She did not even look up from her phone. Thursday morning I left for work without saying goodbye. I used to wake her up with coffee. She texted me around noon to ask if I wanted to order from that Thai place we liked for dinner. I replied that I had plans with Tyler, a coworker, plans I had literally made 5 minutes earlier by texting him to see if he wanted to grab food. I got home at 9 in the evening. She was already in bed. While the bedroom door was closed. For all I knew, she could have been on her phone texting someone. Friday I took a day off without telling her. I had accumulated some paid time off. Anyway, I spent the morning at REI buying camping gear. I was going to start taking those solo trips I had always talked about but never took because she wanted us to spend weekends together. I also stopped by a jeweler to get my wedding ring, a praised white gold worth about $800. Good to know for the division of assets. That evening Megan tried to start a conversation. She wanted to know if I had thought about what she said on Tuesday. I told her yes, that I understood she wanted a roommate relationship and that I was adjusting accordingly. What do you mean by adjusting? I mean, I am treating you like a roommate, as you requested. Her face went from confusion to understanding, then to panic, then to annoyance. That is not what I meant. I meant we should reduce the pressure, not completely disconnect. You said you no longer saw me as a husband. I am simply respecting your perspective. And by the way, roommates do not celebrate anniversaries. So I canceled our reservation for tomorrow. She froze. You did what? I canceled it. Roommates also do not share their finances like married people, so I adjusted that too. From now on, we split the bills 50-50. I will send you the list of what you owe for your share of the mortgage, utilities, and internet. You are also removed from my car insurance and Costco membership starting next month. Her jaw dropped. She looked at me like I was speaking Mandarin. Then her expression went from confusion to irritation. This is absurd. You are overreacting to a conversation about our relationship. I am reacting proportionally. You fundamentally changed the terms of our relationship. I am responding to that change. Is this what you wanted? No pressure, no expectations, just two people coexisting. She tried to argue, but I was not interested. I had plans anyway. I told her I was going camping this weekend. A solo trip. Leaving in the morning, coming back Sunday evening. It is our anniversary weekend. For husbands and wives, yes, but we are roommates now. Roommates do not need to coordinate their social calendars. She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again, and finally said, fine, whatever, and walked away. Saturday at 6 in the morning, I loaded up my truck and headed to Rocky Mountain National Park. I spent 2 days hiking, camping, completely off the grid. It was the most peaceful I had felt in 6 months. I got about 15 texts from her over the weekend. It started with, where are you? Then it became, we need to talk about all this. And it ended with, you are being immature. I only replied once on Sunday evening, back tonight. See you later. When I got home Sunday evening, she was sitting at the kitchen table with her laptop open and an expression like she had just been audited by the IRS. We need to talk about this financial breakdown you sent me, she said. Not even a how was your weekend. What is wrong? There is no way. These numbers are wrong. They are accurate. I had analyzed the bank statements from the last 3 years. Bank statements do not lie. Here is what I discovered by actually doing the math. Over the last 3 years of marriage, I had contributed to about 70% of the joint expenses. Despite the fact that she has a decent salary. She is a project manager at a healthcare company and makes about $78,000. I make $125,000. The mortgage is $2,400 a month. I was paying $1,700 of it. That made sense in the beginning because I made more, but we never adjusted it when her salary went up. I paid all the utilities, electricity, gas, water, internet, trash, about $400 a month entirely on me. Groceries I paid about 80% because I did most of the shopping. She occasionally chipped in for small things, maybe $100 a month compared to my $800. I had fully paid for her car repairs twice last year. Once for brakes and rotors, $1,100. Another time for the transmission, $850. I had covered about 90% of the cost of the 2 trips we took. I paid every time we ate out. Everything probably $600 a month. When I added up 3 years of this imbalance, the number was huge. $78,000 more than her. She stared at the spreadsheet I had sent her. This is ridiculous. You cannot be serious. We are married, we do not count every penny between us. We were married, now we are roommates. So what? You want me to pay you back $78,000? Are you joking? She said it as if I were being unreasonable. Know that money is gone. Water under the bridge. But from now on we split everything 50-50 starting with this month's mortgage. Your share is $1,200. Venmo works. She looked as if I had asked her to donate a kidney. But I do not just have $1,200 lying around. Then you should manage your budget better. You make almost $80,000 a year. Where does it go? She got defensive. She said it went toward normal expenses, her car loan, her student loans, her personal expenses, her savings. Okay, you still need $1,200 for your share of the mortgage by the 1st. And you also owe $200 for utilities and about $120 for your share of the HOA fees. Her face turned red. You cannot do this. This is financial abuse. I burst out laughing. No, this is fairness. Taking advantage of a massive imbalance while contributing very little, then wanting to redefine the relationship without adjusting the finances is what crossed the line. You are being vindictive. I am just being fair. Pick one. Either we are married and operate as a team with pooled resources, or we are roommates and split everything evenly. You cannot have it both ways. She tried another approach. She started crying, saying this was not me, that I was being cruel, that she had never seen this side of me, that Paige had warned her I might react badly, but she did not think it would be this bad. You are seeing the side of me that stops accepting a bad situation. You want to check out of the marriage emotionally? Fine, but I am not going to fund your lifestyle while you decide if you want me or not. She wiped her tears. I cannot believe you are doing all this over one conversation. No, it is 6 months of you detaching, treating me poorly. Then you made it official by telling me I was just a roommate you put up with. I am simply giving you what you asked for. She switched tactics again, got angry, saying I was twisting her words, that she had opened up to me about her feelings, and I was using them against her, that it proved she was right to want space, because I was controlling. I am not controlling anything. You are free to do whatever you want, but you are not free to do it at my expense while living in the house and using the resources I mostly maintain. Our house. You mean the house I pay 70% for while you discover how oppressed you are. But do not worry, after the split, you will have your own place. Total freedom. She looked like she wanted to throw something. Instead, she grabbed her keys and left. She did not come back until after midnight. Monday morning, I got a text from Paige in all caps. What is your problem? How dare you treat Megan like this? She deserves better. I replied with a screenshot of the financial breakdown and wrote, she is free to make up the $78,000 whenever she wants. Otherwise, she should worry about her own budget. Paige replied, you are a manipulative narcissist. I replied, and you are 32, unemployed, living with your parents and giving marriage advice. We all have our issues. She blocked me. Perfect. Tuesday and Wednesday were quiet. Megan stayed late at work both nights, or at least that is what she said. When she was home, she was cold. She would not look at me. She would leave the room when I walked in. Fine by me. Thursday afternoon, I got a call from Tyler, my coworker. He sounded uncomfortable. Then he dropped a bomb on me. Hey man, weird question. Is Megan on a dating app? Silence. Why? My sister was on one. She saw her profile. She showed it to me to be sure. It is definitely her. Recent pictures and everything. I told him it must be a mistake. Maybe a fake account using her pictures. But I wanted to check with you before saying anything. I thanked him and hung up. I downloaded the app. It took me less than 10 minutes to find her profile. 31 years old, looking for something real. Enjoys hiking, coffee dates, and deep conversations. Looking for someone emotionally available who values an authentic connection and is not afraid of vulnerability. No mention of the fact that she was married. Okay, hold on a second, this is me talking. Stumbling upon your spouse who is still married on a dating app is quite something. But reread her profile description carefully. Looking for something real, someone emotionally available who values an authentic connection. She used the exact same language on a dating app that she used to criticize her marriage. Think about that. Every complaint she had about me, emotionally unavailable, inauthentic, no real connection, she neatly packaged and used as a pitch to attract other people, all while still living in the house, all while expecting the bills to be paid. And here is the uncomfortable truth. It is not that uncommon. It is something that happens far more often than people want to admit. One partner slowly checks out of the relationship emotionally, begins to build a narrative where they are the victim, and then uses that narrative to justify behavior they would never accept from the other person. She did not just wake up one morning and decide to join the app. It was a gradual process. The nights out with Paige, taking off the wedding ring, the flat voice, the texts on her phone, it was all connected. It was a slow ramp up to an exit that she had not fully committed to yet, because here is what that profile really represents. She wanted to leave, but she did not want to be alone, and I was supposed to stay available while she sorted that out. Now back to the poster. Interesting. I took screenshots of everything. I sent them to my lawyer with a message, Exhibit A. Then I sat there and thought. A part of me wanted to confront her immediately, but I had learned something that week. Reacting in the moment was her game, planning was mine. I decided to wait, let the situation play out a bit, see how far it would go. Friday evening, she came home in a good mood for the first time in weeks. She had clearly been out. Hair done fresh, makeup the dress she saves for special occasions. She walked in at 8:30 in the evening. I was on the couch reading. She went straight to the bedroom without saying anything. Saturday afternoon, Tyler texted me. Man, my girlfriend just saw Megan on a coffee meeting downtown. Sorry, bro. I replied, no worries, I know. Thanks for the heads up. I spent my Saturday as usual. Jim grabbed food, with Tyler got home late. Megan was watching TV. She looked at me when I walked in. Where were you? Out. Out where? Does it matter? We do not report our schedules to each other. She looked annoyed but did not push it. She went back to her show. Sunday morning, her phone was on the kitchen counter while she was in the shower. It buzzed. I took a peek. Preview of a message from a name I did not recognize. Had a great time yesterday. Let us see each other again this week. Interesting. I did not say anything. I just filed the information away. Monday afternoon, my lawyer called me. He had reviewed the dating profile screenshots and asked if I wanted to serve her with the papers now or wait. I told him I wanted to document a little more. He said that was a good idea. More evidence means a stronger position. Tuesday evening, she announced she was going to Paige's for the night, their traditional girls' night. She would be home late. I said okay. She left at 7 in the evening. I decided to test something. I drove to Paige's apartment building around 8:30 in the evening. Megan's car was not there. I drove around a few cafes and restaurants downtown. I found her car in front of a restaurant on a downtown street. Through the window, I could see her at a table with a guy laughing, engaging closely the whole performance. I took pictures from outside. I sent them to my lawyer with a message, ready to move forward. Let us file. He replied, papers will be ready Wednesday. When do you want her served? I replied, Thursday at her office. 2 in the afternoon. He replied, noted. Wednesday, I acted completely normal. Megan came home late Tuesday night with the same story about Paige. I did not say anything. I kept to myself. Wednesday evening, she tried to talk to me again. She said she had thought about our situation, that maybe we had both overreacted, that she wanted to work things out, that she was wrong to use the word roommate. I told her that was interesting and we should talk about it this weekend. She looked relieved. I was not interested in her sudden change of heart. I was just buying time until Thursday. Thursday, I was working from home. Megan left for the office at 8 in the morning. She was going to be served at 2 in the afternoon. I spent the morning packing some of my things into boxes, photos, personal items, anything I did not want to deal with later. I was not leaving yet, but I was preparing. At 2:15 in the afternoon, my phone rang. Megan. I did not answer. She called back. I let it ring. At 2:20. Text, we need to talk right now. Then the texts started pouring in. I cannot believe you did this. Call me. I am coming home. She arrived at 3 in the afternoon. I was sitting at the kitchen table with my laptop. She stormed in holding the divorce papers. Her face was red. She looked like she had been crying, but also wanted to confront me. What is this? Divorce papers. You had me served at my office in front of everyone. It was the place where the process server could easily find you. Are you kidding me? Her voice was rising. You humiliated me. You humiliated yourself when you made a profile on a dating app while still married. I just reacted. Her expression changed. The anger gave way to panic. What? What are you talking about? Drop the act, Megan. Half my friends saw you on the app. You were not exactly discreet. She started to speak, then stopped. I could see her brain spinning, trying to figure out how to turn the situation around. I was just exploring options. You were treating me poorly. I needed to know if there was something better out there. There it was. No apologies, no remorse, just justifications. So you made a profile, went on multiple meetings, and lied about where you were. But I am the one treating you badly. You pushed me to do this. You changed after that conversation. You became cold and distant. I gave you exactly what you asked for. You are the one who chose to break our trust. She tried another approach. Okay, I made a mistake. Fine. I can delete the profile. We can fix this. No need to complicate things. Actually, there is. Derek, please. I made mistakes, but we can fix this. Listen to me, I have no interest in fixing this. You showed me exactly who you are. You got bored, decided I was not enough anymore. And instead of having an honest conversation about divorce, you tried to set up an exit strategy with other people while keeping me as a backup plan. That is not a mistake, that is a character trait. She started crying. I felt nothing. Please do not do this. I love you. You love what I provide for you. There is a difference. I stood up. You have 60 days to respond to the petition. My lawyer will contact you about the house and assets. Until everything is finalized, you pay your share of everything. If you cannot afford it, you should probably start looking for another place to live. Where am I supposed to go? Pages. Or maybe one of your meetings has a spare room. She called me heartless. I told her that was probably fair, but I was no longer her backup plan. She grabbed her things and left. I heard her car leave the driveway quickly. I stood there for a moment. I felt lighter than I had in months. My phone buzzed. Text from Tyler. So papers served? She is freaking out. I am good. Steaks tonight. Yeah, my treat. The next few days were chaotic. Friday morning, I got a series of texts from Megan, long rambling messages explaining that she had made mistakes, but that I was throwing away 5 years of marriage over one bad decision, that she was lost, that Paige had convinced her to try meeting people to see if she really wanted to leave, that her meetings meant nothing, that she realized now she had been an idiot. I did not reply to any of them. Friday afternoon, Paige called me. I answered, curious to see what she was going to say. You need to stop these divorce proceedings, she said. No hello, no introduction. Megan made a mistake, but you are being vindictive. Paige, I am going to say this once. You spent 6 months poisoning my marriage with your own relationship failures. You convinced my wife she was oppressed because she had to contribute to a household. You encouraged her to make a dating profile. You supported her in her lies. Whatever happens now is partly your fault. So I advise you to stay out of it. She tried to argue, but I hung up. Saturday, Megan came to the house. I had changed the locks Friday night after she left. My lawyer had filed for temporary orders that morning and confirmed I could secure the house as long as her belongings were available for pickup within 24 hours. She rang the doorbell for 10 minutes before I answered. Why did you change the locks? Because you do not live here anymore. Yes, I do. My name is on the mortgage, and you will continue paying your share until the sale. But you are not staying here. You wanted space. You have it. You cannot kick me out of my own house. Watch me. You want to get back in? You can file an emergency motion with the court. In the meantime, your stuff will be on the porch by Monday. She tried to push her way in. I did not budge. I stood in the doorway. Derek, please, can we just talk? We already talked. There is nothing left to say. Where am I supposed to sleep? Not my problem. She called me cruel. I closed the door. Sunday, I packed up all her things. Clothes, toiletries, shoes, makeup, everything. Monday morning, I put everything in boxes on the porch with a note. Your things are outside. Take them today, or they go to Goodwill tomorrow. She came Monday evening with Paige. They loaded everything into Paige's car. Megan was crying the whole time. Paige was glaring at me through the window. I waved at them. Tuesday, I got a call from Megan's mother, Susan. She was crying. Son, what happened? Megan will not tell me anything except that you are getting a divorce. Susan, I appreciate you. You have always been kind to me, but this is between Megan and me. She can explain what happened. But your daughter thought we were playing married, not actually married. She said she understood, but was worried about Megan, that she seemed very unstable. I told her Megan should probably seek professional help for that. Susan thanked me and hung up. Wednesday, Megan made a new Instagram account and posted a long story about toxic masculinity and emotional manipulation. She did not mention me by name, but it was obvious. A lot of her friends commented in support. Lots of hearts, and you deserve better. I did not reply. I did not even look after Tyler sent me a screenshot. Friday evening, I was at the gym when I ran into a friend of Megan's, Jenna. She walked up to me while I was on the treadmill. You know, Megan is completely destroyed right now. I know she is at Paige's, and apparently it is not going well. They are arguing. That is a shame. Jenna looked at me like she was trying to figure something out. Listen, I know you are getting divorced. I do not know what happened, but Megan is my friend, and she is really doing badly. Then she probably should have thought about that before destroying her marriage. Jenna left after that. Saturday morning Paige posted on social media about toxic men who use divorce as a weapon, about how some men cannot handle women who know their worth, about emotional manipulation disguised as fairness. I took a screenshot and sent it to my lawyer. He replied, "Let them talk." Sunday evening, I got a call from an unknown number. I answered. It was Megan. She was crying heavily, almost hyperventilating. "Derek, please, I am sorry I ruined everything. I was stupid. Paige convinced me I was unhappy, but it was not true. I was happy with you. Please give me another chance." I let her talk for about 3 minutes. Then I said, "I hope you get help, but we are done. Sign the divorce papers. I have moved on." I hung up. She called back. I did not answer. She called 6 more times. I blocked her. Monday morning, my lawyer called. Megan's lawyer had contacted him for a settlement. She wanted to work something out, try mediation before going to court. I said no, file everything. We are ending this. Tuesday, I heard through Tyler's girlfriend that Megan had been let go from her job. Apparently, what she was saying about me got back to human resources, and they did not appreciate her creating tension at work. She tried to say it was personal, but there were already complaints from other employees about her behavior, and that was the last straw. She was already on thin ice because of her lateness and lack of focus over the last few months. Tyler's girlfriend mentioned that Megan had received 2 written warnings in the last quarter. One for missed deadlines, another for unprofessional behavior in a team meeting. The rumors about me just gave human resources the excuse they needed. Wednesday, I heard from Susan again. Megan had asked to move back in with them. They refused. They were disappointed in how she had handled the situation. They loved her, but did not want to enable this behavior. Friday evening, I got a text from an unknown number. It was Megan using Paige's phone. "Derek, I know you hate me, and I deserve it, but I am begging you, I cannot afford to live on my own without a job. I cannot go back to my parents. Paige is kicking me out because I told her everything was her fault, and we had a huge fight. I have nowhere to go. Can I stay in the guest room just until I get back on my feet? I will pay you back for everything. I will sign whatever you want. Please." I read the text. A small part of me felt pity. A very small part, but mostly I just felt tired. I replied, "No, figure it out. You wanted independence and an authentic life." So it has been 3 weeks since that message. Megan signed the divorce papers last week. No mediation, no conflict. She just signed them and sent them back through her lawyer. The house sold in 6 days. Listed on Thursday, 3 offers by Sunday. Sale finalized last Friday. I walked away with $78,000 after the split and paying off the mortgage. I had already picked out an apartment downtown. I moved in on Saturday. 12th floor, mountain views, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 900 square feet. Perfect. Here no one is going to tell me they do not see me for who I am. Megan moved in with an old college friend. I heard from Susan that she is working as a waitress until she can find another project manager position. Paige apparently does not speak to her anymore since their fight. Megan supposedly held her responsible for everything that happened. Paige reportedly told her to take responsibility for her own actions. They have not spoken since. As for me, everything is going great. I go to the gym with Tyler 4 times a week. I have lost 17 pounds. I am in the best shape since my college days. I took up woodworking. I turned a section of my building's shared garage into a small workshop. I built a coffee table last week, and now I am working on a bookshelf. It is satisfying to create something with your own hands. The divorce will be finalized in about 6 weeks, and then it will be official. 5 years wiped away. A blank slate. I do not miss her. I do not miss the house. I do not miss any of it. What I miss is the time I wasted trying to fix something that the other person was actively destroying. But that is over now. Tonight, I am meeting Tyler and a few other guys at a steakhouse downtown. Next weekend, I am going camping in Utah. Life goes on. Sometimes people show you who they really are, and when they do, you have to believe them. Megan showed me that she valued her cousin's opinions more than our marriage, that she prioritized her personal comfort over our relationship. I believed her, and I acted accordingly. She got exactly what she asked for. She just did not realize what she was losing in exchange. That is no longer my problem. The situation resolved itself. Now the house is clean. Comment. Hey everyone, I really wanted to share this with you after reading this story. I believe self-respect is one of the most important things we can practice in life. When someone stops treating you with the respect you deserve, it is okay to step back and protect your own peace. Setting healthy boundaries is actually an act of kindness toward yourself. We each carry responsibility for how we allow others to treat us. Healing becomes possible once we stop accepting less than what we give. I hope this reminds you to always choose yourself with love and courage. True peace comes when we learn to value our own well-being. Never feel guilty for wanting a relationship where you feel truly seen and appreciated. Let's keep growing and choosing better for ourselves every day. If you like the stories, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.